Hello, my name is Pleeps, and welcome back to the recap review of Futurama. It's been a while, I know, and I do apologize. Been a bit distracted. We'll talk more about the future of this series at the end of the video, though. For now, let's get into talking to Futurama Episode 4, Love Labor's Lost in Space. This episode starts off focusing on Leela's less-than-stellar love life, as she apparently can't quite get a date because apparently no one wants to date a Cyclops, and she has, I guess, high standards, potentially, and the crew is after a bit of talk about this, and they go to a club and stuff happens. The crew is asked to go to the planet Argon 6, which is apparently due for imminent collapse. On their way to that planet, they are stopped by and imprisoned by Zap Brannigan, who lets them go after having a night with Leela. But leave it there. And they arrive on the planet and attempt to save all the animals. They fail, though, because of one animal, who they dub Nibbler, ends up eating all the others. But good thing good, their ship's out of fuel, but oh wait, no, Nibbler actually shits the very fuel they need. How convenient. And that about sums up the episode. It's time for the review. I'm gonna be real, I'm not fond of this one. Yeah. I imagine it probably came across that in the recap as well. I feel that this episode really does not hold up, unfortunately. And the degree that it does hold up is, well, bad? I'm repeating myself. The bulk of the humor in this episode feels to me like it's coming from a very uncomfortable place. And I just don't find that type of humor funny. I will give this episode credit where credit's due for introducing some side characters who will be involved in much better episodes later. But for now, most of this outing just leaves me uncomfortable. That being said, I do have to reward someone for the comedy awards now, don't I? Here's where I stand. And it is a noteworthy place to stand, I think. There was 2 lines in this episode at all that I found even remotely funny. This line:
"The killbots? A trifle. It was simply a matter of outsmarting them." Wow, I never would have thought of that. You see, killbots have a preset kill limit. Knowing their weakness, I sent wave after wave of my own men at them until they reached their limit and shut down. Kiff, show them the medal I won.
And our winner, take it away, John.
Now, can we please stop?
The female Leela's problem is purely medical. Soon she will drop her eggs and they will hatch and all will be well.
Honestly, I've always appreciated the Zoidberg style humor. And yeah, I don't have much to talk about this time around. I do apologize, but I could take a moment to kind of talk about the future of this series. The last episode did surprisingly well, so there's that. And honestly, I need to kind of focus down on something on this channel while I try and further figure out what I want to do with it, so I'm going to be doubling down on this series for the next little bit. I'm not going to be covering twice as much Futurama, though. I hope that you'll be excited to join me next time as I actually start our journey through The Good Place. Another personal favorite of mine. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. As for this series, you may have noticed that either there is a green background behind me or I actually have some interesting backgrounds. I've actually managed to dig my dusty green screen out of storage. Now, admittedly, the lighting I have right now isn't ideal for green screen, so I don't know how well it's going to work, hence why there's a chance there might not be a background. But if it did work, well then, I'm sitting on some chair somewhere, ain't I? If it did not work, oh well. What else? What else? Nah, nothing much else. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you continue to enjoy. Subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a like if you want to like it. Share it to help get the word out that I'm talking about this series. But more importantly than any of that, any of this, and anything to come, have a good night. Right, how could I forget? The spoiler corner. As a reminder, this is the part of the show where I kind of talk about something related to the episode with the context of what's to come in the future. Actually, no, the future. That way. I'm not great at this. Woo! So, what's to come in the future? Aren't you curious? No. Specifically today, I want to talk about show evolution. It's a term I've coined for a concept that is going to probably come up in every one of these we do at some point. So, let's lay the groundwork and explain the concept. And I think this less than stellar episode is actually a good way to go about it. Or, yeah, a good place to start that talk, that conversation. I can't speak sometimes. So, let's do that. What is show evolution? It's that what a series initially starts as, and what a series eventually becomes, are two very different ideas. To talk about Futurama, it starts out fairly focused on purely being a goofy show. It's a comedy first and foremost above all else. Any heart it has is going to come second to that. But I feel, and this episode is definitely a good example of that. But I feel, as the show comes up, it kind of starts prioritizing its heart more than its comedy. It's always going to be funny, hence why we do those rewards. But at the end of the day, the characters get better defined and are able to grow because of it, which is great. And I guess we will get to see that evolution happen in real time, won't we? I thank you all for joining me. Thank you for your patience if you've been waiting patiently for this episode. I will hope you will join me in a little bit when I cover the next episode of Futurama, but also when I start my coverage of The Good Place. For realsies this time, welcome. I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.